All right, hey guys, Mr. Wilson here. I'm just going to walk you through um, how to get to the graphs, be able to graph on your computer, on your desktop. That way it can be helpful as you go through this section of graphing quadratics. Want you to access the file, then I'll walk through an example just to kind of show you again how to graph and also give you a little bit more practice with graphing. So here we're in our modules today, module 6, April 8th. So you can get the graph paper either through the module instructions page or through the instructions on the assignment for today. Click on the assignment. I'm going to go to preview so it looks like how you would see it. Okay, so you see here, graph paper. If you save this, right click, save it. I would save it to my desktop, somewhere that you have that's easy to access. Then when you do save it, right click on that file and open it with Microsoft Edge. From there, we'll show you how to write on that. Today we're going to do an example, number 9 together, and I will show you how to graph it. I already have number 9 on my board here written down. We'll go through that, and I have Microsoft Edge open. I'm gonna show you that. Okay, and my graph paper here. Okay, so nice thing about the Microsoft Edge is that you will be able to just go through on this screen, probably make your graphs a little bit bigger so they're easier to deal with. Okay. Scoot this over. Actually, I can maximize the screen. Maybe. Okay, so they're easier to deal with, and then you can write on the screen. As you write on or click writing on the screen, you'll see that you have this new option. I like to do the touch writing just so that when I'm doing it, I can graph with my finger rather than using the mouse pad. And erase here. Okay, and this should save you the time of finding paper or making handwritten graphs, which kind of, if they're not done like perfectly, can throw you off. So number 9 on your quiz, y equals -1/2 x squared plus 4x minus 7. I have that written on my whiteboard already. Okay, and we're going to just go through the problem. Okay, so remember, as we're graphing, we want to find the axis of symmetry first. The axis of symmetry is going to be opposite b over 2a. And so I'm going to find b is 4. So opposite b is -4. 2a, -1/2. Okay, as I multiply that through, it's -4 over -1. And that is +4. Okay, so the axis of symmetry, or the center of my graph, is going to be at x equals 4. I can go back to my graph if I'd like to. Graph paper. Okay, and at x equals 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to make sure it's on pencil. I'm going to write my dotted line 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember that that is not a part of our graph, but it does help us. We have our axis of symmetry labeled, because then we can kind of take that shortcut, or at least know that should be symmetrical over both sides of that line. Okay, so that's my axis of symmetry at x equals 4. Axis of symmetry. Okay. Okay, so from there, we're going to continue. We're going to find out where the vertex should be. So we can do that by just plugging in our values into the equation. So -1/2 4 squared plus 4 times 4 minus 7. Okay, when we do all that math, 4 squared is 16, -1 times 1/2 is -8, plus 16 minus 7. So that'll give us 8 minus 7, which is 1. So our vertex should be at 4, 1. Write that on the screen, 4, 1. Okay, So that's our vertex. And that's the center of our graph. So as I make my table, I'm going to make 4, 1 the center of my table. And then from there, I'm going to choose the numbers around it. I chose this problem because you'll see that our A value is a fraction. And so it's going to be smart for us not just to pick the numbers around 4, but also to think what numbers allow us to avoid fractions and decimals. And so then we should pick even numbers. So instead of picking 3, 2, and 5, 6, I'm going to pick 2, 0, and 6, 8. Okay, so that way I don't have to deal with fractions. Okay, from there, you're plugging your values in. Again, you should have symmetry because we already found the axis of symmetry. And so we can kind of take a shortcut in plugging these values in. 0 should be easy. 0, 0, -7. Okay. 2 squared is 4. 1/2 of that is going to be -2. Times +8 -7. And so what that gives us is -1. All right with that? Hope I did that right. Yes, all right. Okay, with our symmetry. Okay, you can plug all those values into your calculator if you'd like. I'm doing this here, saving space, trying to save some time. Okay, so now as I go to my graph, I should be able to plot those points. Have my pen still up. Okay, great. So at the point 0, -7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1 point there. My vertex should be at 4, 1. Already established that. Okay. I have 2, -1, 1, 2, -1. Okay. Have another point at 6, -1, 4, 5, 6, -1. And then my last point's at 8, -7. 8 would be out here. -7's down here. Okay, so it did go off the graph, and that's okay. The graph, remember, isn't like infinite. It only goes to 10 by 10, but we see where our graph should be. It is symmetrical. It is an upside down vertex, which makes sense since A is or upside down. It opens down. We see that makes sense because A is negative. Okay, and so yeah, things make sense. All right, so that's how you can use Microsoft Edge Graph. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll try to answer those for you.